What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Whose Side Wednesday.
My side.
Wow. We didn't really do any type of intro for this the first time. We just kind of like jumped right into it. But because of the topic that we're doing today, I've deemed it necessary to explain how this is going to work. Because our topic today is where the idea for this came from. Because we're playing this game. What are you going through?
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. We're playing this game.
Ready for this.
Called Detroit on our, what do you want to call it?
I like our Let's Play channel, Variety channel.
Variety channel. I didn't know which word we were going with nowadays. On Variety channel. And
Variety Gaming channel.
Variety Gaming channel. There you go. We got into a spontaneous debate that had to do with toasters and robots, and people loved it. And I was like, how cool would it be to do a random series where we debate about pointless stuff that makes no sense? Thus, here we are.
Yep.
Whose Side Wednesday. Now, after thumbing through a couple episodes, I finally found the episode that the debate is in. So we're going to watch it so that those of you that haven't seen it can get caught up on where we both stand on this topic. And we'll go from there.
Let's do it.
Whatever.
I'm saying my toaster can't decide to kill me. And talk about it has.
Hold on.
See, she ain't ready with the clip, just like she ain't ready for this debate.
Shut up!
I've been waiting for this.
I had moved it because I was telling Justice where it was.
Now here's the thing, y'all gotta go into this open-minded. Not with your mind already made up. Y'all gotta hear both sides of the story. And I'm about to drop these facts on y'all head. I do feel like the first time we had this, I feel like I checked the comments not too long after, and there's a lot of people that were feeling you.
Toaster.
Like, I feel like more people thought she won. So it's not going to be the case today, though. So before y'all watch this clip, understand what this game is about. This is a game, we live in a world where there's androids that populate the world, right? So we made all these androids that you can go buy. They look just like humans. And you can buy one. So let's say, I go buy Jim from Best Buy. He's my new android. He pretty much acts like a human.
Yeah, they're like assistants.
You can just tell because they have like a little thing on their temple, but like they talk like their voices sound like humans. They look like humans, but they just listen to everything you say. You can like park them, but they live in a world where like they're treated as androids. So like if they get on a bus, they're in the back of the bus. There's just certain things they can and can't do. And in the game, they get upset. They feel like they're being mistreated. Like Android is the new black, and they want equal rights, and they want to be treated like humans. And that's what the whole game is pretty much about. You control different androids, and you're fighting to be like equal with humans. And this clip is us kind of arguing about that. Like, it's tough. I don't want to see androids win in real life, but I kind of care about them in this story.
I do too.
Like, they're toasters. How would you feel if your toaster tried to kill you?
Well, I wouldn't beat up my toaster.
But if you decided to, does it have the right to kill you?
No, because I'm supposed to make toast in it, not beat it up.
But even if you decided to smack your toaster, is it okay for it to shoot you?
No.
Because it's a toaster.
But no, because that's not how you problem solve and deal with conflict.
You don't deal with conflict with toaster. It's a motherfucking toaster.
Well, exactly.
And you could
because
do
use it for its intended purpose. But if I go and I tase the toaster and it rises up, I can't be shocked. I shouldn't have mistreated it.
No, you can't mistreat a toaster.
Then your question is purposeless.
No, I didn't talk about mistreat. I'm just saying my toaster can't decide to kill me. And talk about it has
your toaster isn't a human.
What if it exactly just like these? They're not humans.
But so if it was gave them the ability to be able.
No,
to
they didn't. They adapt to emotions though.
But they were still built to be able to do that.
Not to have emotions. So let's say your toaster was like, you know what? I woke up today, and I feel like it's unfair how you make me toast every morning. I should get Saturdays and Sundays off so I could go out with my toaster family.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not a valid.
You like, shut the fluff up, toaster. Toast these buns.
It's not a valid comparison though. It's the same thing. You can't build these things and expect them to do human things and then get mad when they act human.
No, we don't want them to do human things. We just want them to do things that we don't want to do. Human things are like feeling pain, feeling emotion.
Cleaning up isn't a human thing?
No.
Can the dog clean up?
They do clean up.
Can the rabbits go clean up?
Yeah, they lick their paws and they clean.
No. Can they go clean the house right now?
No.
Can we go tell the rabbits and Dax and Linda to go do laundry?
No.
Exactly, because it's a human thing.
No, okay.
So if you're gonna
a
give
human
them
can sweep.
Task,
A human can sweep, but guess what? A vacuum can do it better than a human.
Because a human has to operate the vacuum.
No, not all vacuums. Not all vacuums.
Yeah, it still has to get turned on. It still has to get batteries
exactly
put in it.
Exactly. A toaster gets turned on. A microwave gets turned on. But the task that it does is a machine task.
Right, but the tasks that these things are doing are not machine tasks.
Yeah, they are.
Human tasks.
No, they're machine tasks because we as a human just made it a machine task. Like toasting. Guess how Jesus toasted? He didn't have a toaster.
Jesus didn't toast.
Yes, he did. He would chill at a campfire and he'd have to toast his bread.
Babe.
Exactly. That's my point. He didn't have a toaster, my ninja. So he had to toast it over a fire.
It doesn't even.
And then but guess what?
What is Jesus toasting bread?
Because then we got to the 1960s, and we was like, we don't got to toast like that no more. We got toasters, and we just took a human task and made it a machine task. So now in 2038, they was like, you know what? Picking up these sticks was a human task, but you know what? I made this machine. It's a machine task
now.
Then
they should have made a machine that was just a pickup stick machine.
That's what they did, but then the pickup stick machine was like, I ain't picking up no sticks.
No, they gave them boobs and put them in strip clubs and everything, and then are
to do machine things. Yeah, do machine things.
Wow.
We don't want no emotions. They don't want no emotions from it.
Let's keep going.
I'm just saying, they're toasters.
Let's keep going.
And it's kind of fluffed up. I made perfect sense. I don't see how you didn't.
You make Dion sense. That's how that goes. Because my thing is I understand what you're trying to say in the sense of, like you're in your description, like it's not like androids are black or whatever, exactly. And all of them are being mistreated or whatever the case. But for what's her face? What was the girl that ended up?
Alice?
The
little girl?
That's a little girl's name. But the android, right? Whatever the android's name was for Alice's scenario, she was getting whooped on. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, let's get clear. What are we arguing? I'm arguing that androids aren't humans. And you're arguing that androids are humans.
No, I'm not. The debate was that you feel like your example is that the toaster just has to be a toaster. Yes. You decided that you were going to smack your toaster just has to toast and be okay with that.
Yes.
My point is that if you decided to smack your toaster and your toaster rised up and punched you in the nose, you couldn't feel some type of way because you shouldn't have hit your toaster.
So I need to get clear on what your stance is though. So don't use use an android. So you're saying android deserve human rights.
I'm not saying that they deserve human rights.
So it sounds like you're trying to agree with me.
No, I'm not.
You weren't trying to agree with me in the video.
No, because
so you're backtracking.
I said the same thing in the video that I'm saying right now. Nobody's backtracking, so don't be rude. What it is that if you're going to be mean to it and you're going to beat this android and mistreat it, then you can't feel some type of way when it decides that it wants to be human rights. You can't build a human and then get mad that it starts acting like a human.
Okay, so then you are saying it deserves human rights because you can't. So what you're saying is the whole reason we're even saying a toaster is because I'm saying, let's say Jasmine was an android, right? And I mistreated her completely, like beat on her, didn't do updates, whatever she needed, right? And she were to get upset. My point is she doesn't have a right, and she's saying she has a right because she's being mistreated.
Yes.
As like a human, because she acts like a human. You're not saying she's getting mistreated like a dog or an animal. You're saying they walk, talk, act like humans, so they should be treated like humans. That's what you're saying. So you're saying they should have human rights.
Okay, yeah.
So you backtrack to my point. Now you're backtracking back to
I didn't backtrack
so I'm just waiting for you. I'm just waiting for you to land on a position so I can demolish it.
No, I've never agreed with you. If you're gonna build a human thing to do human tasks, don't get mad that it acts like a human. That's it.
Okay, so we can get clear. You're saying the androids deserve human rights.
Yep.
Thank you. Where should we start?
Where
should we start? So the reason I use the toaster analogy is I'm struggling to see much of a difference between the toaster and the Android. Now,
But we went through that though.
but here's the thing. You say that because it looks like a human and talks like a human, it's a human.
Because it was built to do human things.
Human thing. So what is a human thing? A human thing is a thing that humans do?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Got you.
So just like we said, they made Android strip clubs and everything, have people going and tipping these things, they're dancing. Just because you can buy them out of a machine doesn't change the fact that they built them to be replicas of them, to have assistants to do tasks and do other things. Like the dude that was beating the Alice android or whatever, his wife was gone or whatever, can't beat up on his daughter. I'm gonna get this android, she's gonna cook, clean, help take care of my kid, just like a wife would. I'm gonna smack her around when I feel like it, just like he'd smack around his wife. So when she decided to defend the child that you purchased her to take care of, she's got to have some sort of mental stuff going on in there. If she's programmed to take care of this child, then we can't be confused when she rises up to defend the child or tries to do something else.
Bet. So the human things that you do, how do you know to do them? As a human.
Because I was taught. I learned.
Got you. How
Just like kids. Our kids learn to talk from us talking to them. I didn't tell them every single word. They heard it.
How do the androids learn how to do human things?
They're initially programmed, and then in the game, they adapted to their environment.
Also, they were programmed to do human things.
Initially, yes. And then
so it sounds like there's an issue.
Their emotions.
So it sounds like there's an so they have, because they have emotions, they're humans. Or is it because they do human things? Or is it both?
I didn't say that they're humans, but they were built to be, so that's how they should be treated.
Like humans. Okay.
Yeah, you can't just beat them because they were built. You can't just decide that you're gonna build these things and mistreat them and then be confused. That just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so then, well, first off, let me say this. I got so many points. I need to write them down. But first off, I think we need to identify that the definition of human things is evolving, right? Because there's things like the example I use in the video. We'll just stick with that one. We didn't always have a vacuum.
Right.
So as humans, we used to have to, like, if this carpet was dirty, I might just have to pick everything up myself. Okay. Or I might have to sweep.
Right.
But that was a human thing. Getting the debris or the dirt or whatever off of the carpet.
Okay.
But then I developed a machine to do this human thing, so I don't have to do it. Now it's doing it. So it evolved. So now we've evolved to 2030 or whatever this is. And is it really even a human thing to clean my dishes, to watch my kids? Maybe it's an android thing now. So we can't say they're doing a human thing. They're doing something that is now a machine thing. We just designed them to do that. And so they're not doing a human thing. We're doing what we told them to do as we created them. So that's the base of it. But then,
it's still a human thing though. Like to dirty up some dishes from preparing a meal and all that kinds of stuff. It's humans. Us humans occupy the earth. Just because we built something else to help us do those things, it's still a human task that we now have made easier by creating these tools to use. Now, if you're going to create a vacuum, it's a vacuum. Exactly. But if you're going to create a vacuum that looks, walks, talks, and acts like a human being,
looking, talking, acting like a human being doesn't make you a human being. You can still be an android that's supposed to look like a human, but you're still an android, because that's not what defines you and makes you a human. Because here's the thing.
What does?
Being a human? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get too spiritual, but I'll say if you were born, if another human gave you birth, you are a human being.
If another human gave you birth?
Yes. You're a human being.
Okay.
What's your definition of a human being?
Define birth.
You came out of another human being. You followed the reproduction system that God put in place.
Okay. So, if you followed that reproductive system and you're a human, it stops there. You're the only thing that could be treated
like that. You're the only thing that should have human rights. Yes.
Okay. then anything else you can do whatever you want with.
Do whatever you want. Well, I think it would be a good idea to not mess with something that you bought. But let's say I did buy my Android and I wanted to just put it in headlocks the whole time.
That's your right.
Yeah.
Because it's
my
toy.
Android, yeah. Because here's the thing. Are you saying, because as their human rights, we should stop selling Androids? I shouldn't be able to buy it. Because it's not right for me to buy and sell you, right? That's slavery.
Which I don't feel like they should have been created.
Oh.
Because then that constitutes a problem.
Because they're not humans, though.
Well, no, but now that they have
But they were created, though, you're right.
They have been created.
How do you create a human?
We just talked about that.
Yeah. That's how you create. We created some humans.
Okay, but then we also created this android to be able to do those things.
An android that's not a human, though. Yes, it does.
But it serves and functions like a
just
human
like a human.
does.
But
just like the escorts in the strip club, they function like some humans.
Exactly. Yeah, they do. But
they couldn't reproduce.
Nope.
But they can do everything but that.
Yes.
So because they can't reproduce, you can just smack it around.
Because it's not a human, it should not be treated like a human. Just because it looks like... Look, here's the thing. You can't say that because it has emotions. Because an animal can have any emotions. You can't say because it can get mad, because it can adapt. They do tests with rats where rats adapt. And they problem solve and figure things out.
Rats
so that's
also
not,
reproduce.
Exactly. That's not... Yes, they do. They do.
Okay.
Exactly. And so here's the thing. Just because it does those things doesn't make it a human. Other things can have those traits, but you're saying just because it looks like a human, it's a human.
Yeah, because it was created to do human things.
Here's the thing what y'all are getting. Yes, it looks, talks, acts like a human, because as humans we created it to look like that. But don't get it twisted. It's still an android. Just because it looks like one don't mean nothing.
I just don't feel like just because it's an android that means that you can tear it up.
Okay, so that's why I bring it back to my toaster. So what's the difference between... Because my toaster was created the same way that Android was created.
Toaster was created to toast.
True. Well, no, these Androids are advanced toasters. They have the ability to adapt and do these things close to humans, right? Mm-hmm. But we created it with screws and bolts just like my toaster. Mm-hmm. And we could take it apart just like my toaster.
Right, but your toaster can't talk. Your toaster can't scream. Your toaster can't
But guess what?
run from you. Your toaster can't...
True. But here's the thing. If I wanted to make a toaster to do that, I can.
Okay. So what's your point?
That it's a toaster. That it's a toaster. It's made to look like... So here's the thing. Because for all you little Android lovers, here's the thing. Oh, we gotta do human. They gotta be treated like humans. Alright, bet. So first off, then they can't be sold. Because that's not fair for humans. So then they're not sold. Bet. So now we have androids. Now what? How do they reproduce? How does the android life continue?
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not expecting it to. I'm saying for the intended purpose of our discussion, the androids exist.
No.
I don't think they should have been created to begin with.
But they did, but they were.
But right.
So
because they are, and they're here now, they don't need to be able to reproduce.
But
we're not expecting them to reproduce. They were created to help.
But we're expecting them to treat them like something that does as humans. How can we give them rights that humans have, but they really can't do human things?
They just don't.
That's a human thing.
They just don't want to be
not picking up sticks.
Abused.
Yeah, they don't want to, but who gives a fluff? You're a toaster. You're a toaster.
All right. Whatever. Listen. Here's what we're going to do. We're clearly not going to budge. And we can keep going back and forth.
No, let's keep doing it.
I'm not conceding defeat. He's clearly not going to concede defeat.
You got to tell me where you made sense, though.
I made perfect sense the entire time.
How?
It's like you made sense, but I disagree.
Okay, so your main point... I
understand what you're trying to say. Your main point... But I disagree.
Got you. Your main point is that because it does things similar to humans...
Because it was created to replicate a human, it should be treated like a human.
Got you. Because you got to think. There's a whole lot of human things. It doesn't do all human things.
So what happens if the android freaks out and murders somebody?
It should be A-town stomped and beat into an oblivion. It should be torn apart. Discontinued.
Okay. Different from like a death sentence. How? That a human would have. If he's going to be punished for doing something like a human would, it's the same. It's being treated like a human.
That's not being treated like a human, because guess what? Guess what happens when your toaster malfunctions? You get rid of your toaster.
Well, yeah.
Getting rid of something ain't a human thing.
Because it's an appliance that broke. But I'm saying
That-
if you break
it wasn't
the law,
designed to kill people, so it broke.
it was designed to replicate human behavior. Humans kill each other,
Hold
just like
up.
humans love
Whoa,
each
whoa,
other.
hold it.
And humans have sex with each other.
Yeah, they
Humans
do.
go shopping. Humans take care of each other, which is what they've created these androids to do.
Oh, wait.
So you can't decide that you're going to have them do everything that humans do, but be treated fairly.
Well, okay, well, let's go back to that.
And be treated with respect.
Well, here's where you're wrong.
And not get put in headlocks
Well,
every day.
here's where you're wrong. Because they weren't created to do everything. That was the whole issue with the game. They weren't created to disobey. They were created to follow instructions. Because they're an android. And that's the whole premise of the game, is they evolved past
to
that.
follow their human instructions to do human tasks.
But here's the thing, though. Like I said, they're not even doing all of the human tasks. They can't reproduce. That is at the core a human task.
But that's not something you typically outsource. There are some.
Exactly. They were created to outsource. You're right. They can't do the things that are at the core of a human being. That is the core of it, reproducing.
The one thing. That's one thing.
That is one thing that's at the core. That literally tells you you are not a human. Because you cannot reproduce.
But that's not fair then, because then there's people that have fertility issues and struggle with that kinds of stuff. There are people that are born that can't reproduce.
True. Here's the thing, though. Do they have, or were they designed to reproduce?
That's touchy. Then that becomes spiritual. Because
what?
Because you don't know what the walk plan was for their life.
Bet. Since we're being spiritual. Is your android going to heaven?
I mean, no, because for all intents and purposes, it doesn't have a soul. It wasn't created by God. Man created it.
Sounds like a toaster to me.
No, it's not. Anyway, like I said,
Whoa, no.
We're not going to
No,
agree.
we can't end. We can't end right
We're
there.
going to have
We
to
can't
end.
end
The
right
video's
there.
not gonna go
We just
for
made a good
45
point.
minutes.
We just hit a good point there.
What are you talking about?
You just said. I didn't want to go there, but she went there.
No, I didn't.
It
I
doesn't have a
said then
soul.
that would be getting spiritual. That's what I said.
But hold up.
So I said we probably shouldn't go that way.
But hold up. Why not, though? Because we can't go that far with androids?
What are you talking about?
We can't go spiritual with androids?
Well, you already said at the beginning that we're going to get spiritual. You were talking about this thing.
Because
This
I thought
isn't
I thought I could get you
spiritual
on the
debate.
lower level. I didn't think I had to cheat. I felt like that was cheating to go somewhere that an android obviously couldn't go.
Well, and that's why I said. That's why I stopped you. And I said, but then that'd be getting spiritual.
I think that is right there. That's the boom. That's the what's the judge hit?
What?
The gavel? Is that what it's called?
Dion.
Listen, final argument. 1. If I cut you open, what am I gonna see?
Organs. What?
If I cut an android open, what am I gonna see?
Parts. Because...
Okay, just parts. Do you see any difference there that makes sense? That one's a human, one's an android.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Okay, so we agree there. So there's a difference between the human and the android, but yet you still think it should be treated like a human. Because here's the thing, if I cut my toaster open, is it going to look more like the android or more like me?
It's going to look more like the android because
Okay.
they're both machines. No one's arguing
they're both
that point.
Okay, so here's the thing though. So, okay, it's a machine. That's great. So why would we ever treat a machine like a human? Even if it acts like a human, because it's still a machine.
But that's the answer. Because it was created to act like a human.
Hey, do you have to act like a human?
Do
you have to act like a human?
From the video, your whole argument from the video was that I don't know how I feel. My toaster just rised up and decided he wanted to do this and this and this and this.
Because it's a machine.
Well, right. But the toaster wasn't a good example because it's not anywhere near how the android acts. works.
It's a smarter
And
toaster.
what it was created for. Okay, so fine. So say it's a smarter toaster. It was a smarter toaster that they created to act like a human and have the audacity to have an attitude when it adapted to its human environment. When it's looking around at all of these humans that look just like them, why am I being treated different? So that's
what's a reason it might be being treated different? Maybe because it's a machine and not a human?
Right. But you can't expect for them, these androids, to be okay with that. You created them to do this. They're going to want to do everything that the other people walking around that look like them can do. And that makes sense. So you can't be mad that that's what they decided. And for the toaster example, if you kicked your toaster and all of a sudden your toaster came to life and beat the crap out of you.
Well, first off, I'm not taking no L's.
Should have kept your hands to yourself.
I'm not taking no L's to no toasters. One. Number two, I'm okay with it being mad if we give it this ability to do whatever and think, and that's cool. Like, oh, you didn't evolve, toaster. But shut up. You're not a human. You're a toaster. So you have to stay in your toaster lane. Because one, we can't say it does human things because human things are evolving. There's things that used to be human things that machines do now.
And you can update an android. They can evolve too.
Exactly. Which is why how smart it is doesn't matter. We created it. It's still an android. No matter how smart it gets, it's not a human. Driving used to be a human thing. 100%. Guess what? Now it's a machine thing. Cars can drive themselves.
Yeah.
But it used to be a human thing. So it being a human thing, that's not an argument because there is no real human thing until we get into the insides. Being able to reproduce, having a soul, that are these human.
At the end of the day, the android is not really a human.
So why should it be treated like one? Why should it be treated like one?
Because it's just inhumane to just decide.
Wait, it's inhumane to treat something that's not a human like a human?
When you built it to walk, talk, act, and think like a human!
But it's not a human.
Anyway,
I can draw a picture. I can draw a picture to look like a human.
We'll put a straw poll in the comments section.
Guess what? It's paper.
Whatever.
It's not a human. But it looks like a human.
You're missing it.
Guess what? There's puppets.
It's fine.
Supposed to look like a human. It's not a human.
But the puppet, we're not expecting the puppet to get up and go clean is what you're missing. It's fine.
I can. So if it didn't look like a human, it'd be okay. So if it thought like a human but didn't look like a human, what if? Hey!
We'll do.
Guess what, people? What if it thought like a human but it looked like a dog?
Here's what we'll do.
Whoa! Hold up.
What
if it looked like a dog? But it thought like a human. Do we treat it like a human?
If it looked like a dog.
If it looked like a dog.
Like a human?
Yes.
What does that even mean?
If it looked like that's what you're tripping off of. It looks, acts, talks like a human. But what if it looked like a dog?
But that was its intended purpose.
Like
as usual.
What if it looked like a monkey?
What if it looked like a monkey? You're getting off topic.
I'm on topic. If you know I'm on topic. If you follow along. Anyways, here's what I want. Here's I got one more thing. One last thing. Please, one last thing.
Put a straw poll in the comment section. And you guys can go ahead and you can vote for whose side you are on this week.
And I got one last thing.
Dion or mine.
Jasmine, please.
And leave.
Please. One last thing. Because I just thought of this. There were people in the comment section that I have to address. And you probably will side with this. So this isn't a shot at you, but these are the silly people that might vote. People were saying, Mav, you sound just like a slave owner back in the day. Because back in the day, black people wanted equal rights. But they were being treated inhumanely. Right? They didn't have rights. Can you see the difference between slavery and owning an android?
Yeah.
Black people, as slaves, guess what? We're humans. If there's a white man sitting right next to me, we are both humans. Okay? If that white man wasn't a human, he was an android, but he looked like it, he's not a human at that point. That's the big difference. It wasn't black people weren't acting like humans. they really were humans and they were being enslaved and they weren't being treated like humans. That's the difference. Point out anyone else. I don't care if it's someone that's transgender, gay, whatever, any of the mistreatment we see now. If they're a human, they should be treated like humans, even if you disagree with them. There's a big difference between slavery and a toaster that don't want to toast buns no more. I didn't have a mic with me, so I just had to drop it. You think it's the same as slavery?
I didn't say that. Nobody said anything about slavery. We'll leave a straw poll in the comments and you guys can let us know whose side you're on and your reasons why. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to leave your topic suggestions so we can keep this series going. Appreciate you. Love you. Until next time, God first, God bless.